I never thought I'd write something like this. I'm a father. A single one. My daughter, Leah, is 17 now. I raised her alone after her mom passed away when she was only 5. Cancer took my wife in 6 months flat. I remember holding Leah close at the funeral, promising her I'd always be there, that she wouldn't feel the emptiness her mother left behind. I did everything for her. I worked night shifts, missed meals, passed up promotions just to be at every school play, every parent-teacher meeting, every doctor's appointment. But I never imagined the day would come when she'd look at me like I was the enemy. It started gradually. She hit 13 and the attitude kicked in like a switch. Typical teenage stuff, I told myself. Hormones. Anger. Mood swings. I could handle that. But then it escalated. She began locking herself in her room. I'd knock and get no answer. Meals were refused. Conversations ended in eye rolls or cold silence. Still, I figured it was just a phase until last month. It was a Saturday, late afternoon. I came home early from a long shift at the warehouse. The house was loud, laughter, music, chatter. I followed the noise to the living room and found Leah with 3 of her friends, all sprawled out on the couch. I smiled, relieved to see her happy for once. "Hey girls," I said casually. They went silent. Leah didn't smile back. She just stared at me like I was filth on the bottom of her shoe. Then she turned to her friends and said, "This is him. The monster I told you about." I froze. Her words sliced straight through my chest. I laughed awkwardly, thinking maybe it was some kind of weird teenage joke. "Come on, Leah," I said, trying to play along. But her friends just looked at me, awkward, wide-eyed, uncomfortable. One of them muttered, "Maybe we should go." And Leah didn't stop them. She stood up, walked to the door, and let them out without saying a word to me. I stood there, stunned, like I just walked into someone else's nightmare. When she came back in, I asked, "What was that about?" Her eyes were cold. "You heard me," she said. "You are a monster." I couldn't believe it. "What did I ever do to you?" I asked, my voice cracking. She crossed her arms. "Everything. You controlled my life. You suffocated me. You act like you're the perfect dad, but you're just a sad, angry man clinging to the past. You ruined my life." I opened my mouth to defend myself, to remind her of the years I spent giving up everything for her. But before I could say anything, she spat in my face. It wasn't even the spit that hurt. It was the hatred in her eyes. The disgust. Like I was some disgusting stranger she couldn't stand to be around. I wiped my face and walked away, locking myself in my room for the night, shaking, broken, unable to process what just happened. The next few days were worse. I found out she'd been telling her friends I was abusive, that I hit her, that I screamed at her. None of it was true. Ever. I couldn't understand where it came from. I never laid a hand on her. The worst I ever did was ground her for sneaking out one night, and that was only because she came home at 3 a.m. reeking of alcohol. I called her out on it, grounded her for a week, and even that felt like too much. But apparently that made me a monster. I considered taking her to therapy, talking to someone, trying to fix it. But how do you fix something when the person who's supposed to love you looks at you like you're inhuman? One night, I broke. I sat in the living room and cried like a child. I cried for my wife, for the daughter I lost to someone I no longer recognized, and for myself. A week later, Child Protective Services knocked on my door. Someone, probably one of Leah's friends, had reported me for alleged abuse. The caseworker was kind but serious. Leah told them I hit her, that I screamed daily, that I mentally tormented her. I felt like I'd stepped into some twisted alternate reality. They interviewed me, inspected the house, asked for proof. I gave them everything: pictures, old letters from Leah when she was younger, my work logs, even the baby book I made for her. They didn't find anything concrete against me, but the doubt stayed. The investigator left with a warning. If any more reports came in, they might remove her from my custody. I didn't know whether to cry or scream. A few days after that, I overheard Leah talking on the phone in her room. Her door was slightly open. She was laughing. "Yeah, I told them he hit me." They believed every word. Now he's scared. Serves him right. Maybe now he'll leave me alone. I felt my knees go weak. I stepped away, unable to breathe. She was lying. She knew what she was doing. This wasn't about pain. It was about punishment. Control. Maybe she thought it was revenge. Maybe she wanted to hurt me just to see if she could. But something inside me cracked that day. I realized I couldn't protect her anymore. Not from the world. Not from herself. And not without destroying what little was left of me. I sat her down that night and told her I was going to move out. Temporarily. I needed space. I'd stay with my brother a few miles away. I told her I'd check in, that I wasn't abandoning her, but I couldn't stay in a home where I was treated like the villain in her story. She looked shocked. Maybe she didn't expect me to actually go. Maybe she thought the lies would scare me into submission. But I left. It's been a month now. She barely texts. The house is still in my name. I still pay the bills. I check in with her school, talk to the counselor. I told them everything. They're keeping an eye on her. But it hurts. Every day. I keep looking at old photos. A little girl with pigtails hugging my leg, smiling up at me like I was her whole world. Where did she go? Who replaced her? Was it something I did? Or didn't do? People keep telling me she'll grow out of it. That one day she'll realize what she had. But I'm scared that day might come too late. That by the time she understands, the damage will already be permanent. I still love her. Desperately. But I don't know if I'll ever forget the way she looked at me that day. Like I was a monster. And I don't know if she even cares that she turned me into one in her mind. Just to watch me fall apart.